Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the second day of the month of April, 2024. It is Easter Tuesday, Tuesday within the octave of Easter, the third day of our Easter season. Second day after Easter, but it's the third day of our Easter season. Easter Tuesday, Easter within the octave. So the front of the rectory today, the friar rector today, is always flanked by these beautiful red maples, the Japanese maples. It's always kind of a nice kind of greeting as we move to the front of the rectory, and the dogwoods again in bloom over here. It is kind of back to work today for the parish staff and things like that, and again, mass is taking place within the church all this week to enjoy the beauty of the Easter flowers and everything else like that. So so it's a little bit busy this morning again. Let's see, today Peter's speech at the at Pentecost to the Jewish people of Jerusalem, and again, it might even be to more than just the Jewish people of Jerusalem. But the thing about it is, again, this speech, where Peter constantly says, "This Jesus whom you crucified, this Jesus whom you crucified, this Jesus whom you crucified," and this speech is supposed to get them to start thinking about what it is that they did. And you know, one wonders, again, there is no other proof than Peter's words. There's nothing else to say besides whatever Peter is saying. And yet, you know, to these same people who did clamor for Jesus' death, again, these are the ones who shout, crucify him in all of the gospel sources, it says today that they are cut to the heart, and then they say to Peter, what should we do? Now, again, there is no proof. I mean, there is no physical proof. There's just Peter's words. Jesus does not come down and show himself to these people. Again, it's after Pentecost even, so he's gone back to the Father. So it's Peter's strength of his argument. It is what it is that he has to say, to these people. Perhaps that, while he acknowledges the fact that, you did ask for Jesus to die and you were screaming for his crucifixion, you can move away from that, and you can become more than just your anger and your pain and your jealousies or whatever it is, again, that prompted all of them to move towards Jesus's death. And so, the reality of it is always, can we change from who and what we are? Can we change to something more? Can we become, something more? And again, what Peter is showing in this speech in Jerusalem after Pentecost is that yes, we can. It's like Jesus does not hold grudges, and even more so, these people are invited to be baptized, to repent, to acknowledge the fact that they called for the death, of the one who is the living God, but to be able to repent and then move forward into baptism. Again, it's sort of It is the pattern, that Jesus asks the apostles to observe, to first teach people about him, and then to baptize. Again, we do it backwards with our children. We baptize them and then hopefully we teach them, and then confirmation business. And so, but it's not the way that it's supposed to be. The way that, again, those who are brought in through the catechumenate, those who are brought in through the RCIA, experience what it is that Jesus intended, is that first one is taught about, who and what he is and what he represents, and what he means for us, and why it is important that God walked among us, and how life has changed forever because of his death and resurrection, and then move to baptism. These people in Jerusalem are kind of experiencing that, and yes, there has to be some kind of reconciling, and some kind of reckoning of the fact that we did wrong, but that does not become what is important. What is important is the fact that these people can become more than who and what they were, and that is the wonder and the glory of resurrection, is showing us the more of who and what we are called to be. Our resurrection appearance today is from John, Mary outside the tomb weeping, and all of a sudden an angel or two angels having appeared to her and say, why are you weeping? He's not here. And she doesn't really believe it, and then she continues to weep some more, I guess, and then she hears a voice from behind her that says, why are you weeping? And she turns around, thinks it's the gardener, but it isn't. It is Jesus. Now, again, the emotion and everything that one has to kind of quite realize, again, that this roller coaster of loss and despair, and then the joy of re-encountering, and the belief that this was true, that this, like what God said would happen, did come to pass, and God's might and power, and again the power of God's mighty love, how that shines forth. Again, Mary tries to cling to Jesus, and basically he says, you have to go and announce it to my brothers and tell them, because they are still afraid. Again, they're not able to realize, the wonder and the beauty of my promise that has come to pass. And even if they doubted that I would be the one who would rise, I have, and you must tell them. And so again, there is this reality of the role of this woman. And again, a woman who was not necessarily a prostitute, who was not a woman of ill repute, who constantly has to be clothed in red and all kinds of representations. But this woman of courage, who dares to believe what seemed to be impossible. That's what Easter asks all of us to believe, to have that courage to believe what seems impossible. Elizabeth says that to Mary at the visitation. Blessed are you who believe that what God promised would be fulfilled. Well, in the resurrection, for all of us who believe, we are still to carry on that promise and that belief that what God says will be fulfilled, always and forever. A continued blessed Easter season, a blessed Easter week. St. Francis and people of God, may the Lord give you his peace.